Hello guys, I'm back from another video and today we're talking about once again Fate Remnant Collide. So yeah, let us begin ladies and gents. So, as we last led off, we would see his Saber class servant appear and would basically save him from the Death Stalker. As when, Rex saw it, or at least saw him, he would say, "So, this is the power of Grand Order, eh?" He would say to himself. As Glinda would say this. "Wait, who are you?" she would say. As he would say this, specifically, I'm just gonna be calling him Saber, or I'm just gonna be calling him Saber, or, yeah, Saber of Crimson. Because that's what I'm listed him right now on my, on my notebook right now. So yeah, anyway, continue on. Sorry about that. Anyway, continue on. As when she said that, you know, I'm gonna be calling him, Saber of Crimson, he would say this. "I am merely a servant to my master." As he would look towards Rex, as he would say this. "Master, should I dispatch this monster?" he would say. As he would start grabbing onto his sword. If you don't know who it is, well, it's this guy. Yeah, as he would grab onto his, his glowing blue sword, as the sword would start glowing a bluish tint, or at least a cyan tint, I guess you can say. Wait for a second. As it would start to glow a a bluish tint, as he would also grab a knife from out of nowhere, or I guess you could say on the side over here, I guess, as he would put it in one hand, basically like doing a cloak and dagger type thing. As when Glinda heard that, she would say, "Wait." As she would start looking at, back at Rex, as she would say, "Did you unlock your semblance?" she would say, as he would say this. "What's a semblance?" he would say naively, even though he does know what it is, because he's still pretending to be, well, oblivious, a kid, basically. As when he said that, she would say, "Oh, I should have said that," she would say, or at least teach him how to do that. Either way, as she would look over, as the man, aka Saber of Crimson, would start getting ready to fight the Death Stalker. The Death Stalker would charge first, as it would start using its tail to basically try and stab him, but he would dodge out of the way using his swords, or at least, using the swords that are basically with him to basically, block the attack, as he would dodge out of the way from one of its, pincers. He would start throwing the daggers for some odd reason, because, well, I'm surprised that he's not a freaking archer class, because everything can become archer at this point. Like, have you seen Joan of Arc, Summer? Yeah, apparently she's an archer. And you know what she shoots out? Well, freaking dolphins. How the Okay. When I first saw her, I thought, oh, she might be Caster. When hearing about the whole, like, the thing about her allowing her to basically, like, summon out, like, sea creatures. But nope, apparently she's Archer. Oh boy. Anyway, continue on with this episode. As after, doing so, he would start, using the swords as, not really swords, I meant the knives, as he would start throwing them towards the Deathstalker. They would basically cut through the Deathstalker like butter, as after doing so, the Deathstalker would scream out in pain, as he would say this. Weak, he would say. As after saying that, he would start getting ready one more strike, as he would start activating the sword, as he would say this. As he would start saying this. Dark, dark demonic blade complete. Show me your pride. This is the dawn of destruction. As the sword would start to glow a immense, blue color, even allowing everybody, like, all the way from Beacon, by the way. This is like deep in the Emerald Forest, by the way. So, as the sword would start glowing a pure blue, as he would scream out, "Bolverg, Cram!" After doing so, he would punch, or should I say, throw the sword towards the large, Deathstalker, as the Deathstalker would basically explode into, well, into dust after getting slashed by it, or thrown by it, or stabbed by it, or whatever you want to call it at this point. So, after doing so, he would basically return the sword, basically like telekinesis type thing, as the sword would return into his hand. After doing so, he would look towards Glinda and his master, aka Rex, as he would kneel down as he would say this. Master, what is your next order? He would say. As currently, we would currently see Rex basically like going like, holy crap, he would say, as you would already know the information about him, thanks to the help of his, of the true magic that he has, aka Grand Order. Apparently, this servant is apparently Sigurd, aka basically the Norse version of Siegfried. And if you don't know, Sigurd and Siegfried, they're technically the same people, but not really. Yeah, it's a confusing part. But either way, um, basically, after getting the information about him after he was summoned, he would say this. There's nothing else. I don't know. As he would say this. It seems that you're confused, kid. Well, I'm also in the same position as you. Where am I exactly, he would say. As you would start looking at the Emerald Forest, as Glinda would basically grab, Rex, as she would be afraid, thinking that this man is some sort of like, well, assassin or something. Because, any, sensible parent would be weirded out or, concerned after seeing that, attempt. As she would say this. Who are you, she would say. As she would get ready her, her riding crop and also her semblance. As he would say this. Like I said, I am his servant. You can call me Saber of Crimson. As after saying that, he would stab the sword on the ground, as he would say this. Now, as I said, you are my master, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. So, you're my semblance, he would say, even though he's lying because he doesn't want his mother to know that he's probably somebody from a different universe, let's just say that. As, he would say this. Semblance, you say? What is this semblance, you say? He would say. As Glinda would still be astonished after hearing this, she would think, wait, is this something similar to... There's no way. Maybe he is. Maybe some sort of like Schnee hybrid or something, she would say. As she would start looking at, back at, well, our boy over there, aka Rex. As she would still see the white hair, but instead of having the bluish eyes that most Schnee have, instead he has pure golden eyes. As she would say this. Either way, she would say. As she would look towards, Sigurd, as she would say this. How would you come with us? And by the way, the name's Glinda Goodwitch. And thank you for saving my son and me as well, she would say. As he would say this. It's no need to... wait for a second. There's no need for thank yous. After all, I am a hero, he would say. As he would put back his sword on his back, as she would say this. A hero, you say? As he would say this. Yes, I guess you could say that. After saying that, they would start leaving to go back to Ozpin's office. So, after arriving back, back at the school, well, currently several students were basically looking at Siegfried. Not Siegfried, I meant Sigurd. It's still a bit of a confusing part because at the time I really wanted to, add Siegfried at the time, but decided on Sigurd because, well, back in the day I actually had Sigurd, and he was one of my favorite servants at the time. But because of his technological based design, I never really liked him. But I mostly liked his, much more cooler counterpart, aka, well, Siegfried. Because my first Fate anime, by the way, was Fate Apocrypha, yeah. Where, goddamn, I loved it. Especially with John and, and the Astolfo reaction. God damn it. Anyway, so, after they arrived back at Beacon, several students were basically looking at Sigurd, seeing his, well, seeing him still wearing his, mask, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at his, second ascension. That's basically what he is. That's basically what he's wearing right now, his, mask. And also, he doesn't have the red eyes, or at least I think so. Let me just check again. Yeah, he's basically wearing like the full-on mask. Well, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, well, um, spoilers ahead. During his time as like being possessed by I think it was Surtur. Yeah, Surtur in like the Nordic Lost Belt. He would always wear his mask at the time when he was like there. So just imagine him like that, or something like his first ascension. Yeah, his first ascension, basically. So, anyway, continue on. As one day arrived at Osmond's office, Osmond would say this. Ah, Glinda. So, mind telling me what was that, you know, weird light that happened during, or at least, in the Emerald Forest, he would say, as she would say this. Well, as she would explain everything, including how, you know, our man Sigurd over there basically saved them. As she, as Osmond would say this. So you finally unlocked your magic, he would say. As after saying that, we would also see, the eyes widening of Rex as you think, wait, did he knew? Did he knew that I have magecraft, you would say? No, no, no. It might be just a lie. No, not a lie, but more like, a thing to trick me. Yeah, as he would decide to play dumb as he would see this. Um, magic? I thought magic doesn't exist, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, but it is. Or at least back then, he would say. As he would start looking at the child, as he would say this. I will tell you in a later date, but for now, for this, I say that is probably some sort of semblance of yours, kid, he would say. As he would say this. Oh, okay, Osmond, he would say. As Osmond would say this. Either way, he would start looking towards Sigurd as he would say this. Mind telling me a bit about yourself, he would say, as Sigurd would say this. Only if my master permits me to, he would say. As he would start looking towards, towards our boy over there. As he would say this, specifically, wait for a second. As he would start looking towards Rex, as he would say this. Sure, you can trust him. As in his mind, he would say, well, sort of, he would say. As after saying that, he would say this. Very well, he would say. As he would say this. You may call me Sigurd when we're alone, but but I prefer to hide my true name. So call me Servant, or at least Saber of Crimson, he would say. As he would say this, specifically Osmond. I see. Very well, Sigurd, he would say. As he would ask him a few questions like how did he, came to be. As you explain how he came to be, more specifically, vaguely, as in, how he basically appeared out of nowhere, and would explain that he's a quote-unquote semblance of his. And also a bit of magic involved. Yeah, that's the explanation. As he would say this, specifically Osmond. Interesting. Very well then. As for you, you should get ready to, get ready yourself after all, he would say, as you look towards, well, to our little boy over there, aka, Rex, as he would say this. You need to get ready. After all, you're gonna be going on your first day to school. Or should I say, your Huntsman Preparing Academy, aka Signal, he would say. As he would say this. Wait, really? He would say? As he would say this, specifically Osmond. Yes, I recently got into a meeting with him, or at least the headmaster of that facility, and he said that he's going to be, letting you in because of your status, he would say. As he would say this. He would just tilt his head as he would explain, saying that he's technically served like, technically the guardian of like, the guardian of like, of Rex, aka Osmond, and also Glinda, making him pretty much, a prime candidate. And so, because of that, they would decide to let them in. Or at least, him in. So yeah, after being told this, he would be told to basically get some sleep. After all, it's almost nighttime. And so, he would start leaving with Glinda, as he would start looking at, Sigurd, as he would say this. So, do you have a way to, as he would say this? Yes. as he would disappear, turning into golden dust, as he would say this. This boy is quite the interesting thing, he would say. And so, that is where I'm going to be ending off this episode. So yeah, bye-bye.